First on 7 News at 11, a memorial and American flags fill the site where two National Guard members were shot this week. In their home state of West Virginia, people gathered for a vigil in Webster Springs last night for 20-year-old specialist Sarah Beckstrom, who died in what authorities are calling an ambush attack. Today, U.S. Attorney for DC Jeanine Pirro said charges against the 29-year-old suspect have been upgraded. Our team coverage on this shooting that rocked the nation's capital begins outside the hospital where Liana Golden joins us with an update.
Jasmine, we're here at the MedStar Washington Hospital Center in Northwest DC. Our crews have been here around the clock for the past 48 hours. At last check, Andrew Wolf, the National Guardsman from West Virginia, is still in critical condition. That is the very latest update that we've received from officials. We are all hoping and praying that he can pull through. In the meantime, the community and the country continues to mourn the death of Sarah Beckstrom. A stranger paying respects on the streets of D.C. to Sarah Beckstrom. This memorial now sits outside the Farragut West Metro stop where the 20-year-old soldier from West Virginia was shot on Wednesday in what authorities say was an ambush-style attack.
I don't know if it's really hit me the hardest yet.
Beckstrom's former boyfriend of 6 years says they grew up together, and he never thought he'd have to say this kind of goodbye.
A little hard to grasp the whole concept that there ain't no more of her around. Of course, she'll always be around, as you know, but hard to grasp she won't be back in town.
People want justice. People want accountability.
West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey among the many calling for justice. On Friday, U.S. Attorney for DC Jeanine Pirro said charges against suspected shooter Ramanola Lackenwall will now be upgraded to first-degree murder after Beckstrom's death. Pirro indicated they'd seek the death penalty.
And the individual who did this will pay the ultimate price, according to the Attorney General Pam Bondi. As well, he should once and if a jury returns a verdict.
Authorities say the suspect drove to the nation's capital from Washington State, where he lived with his wife and 5 kids at this apartment complex. All electronic devices there, including cell phones, laptops, and iPads, now under analysis. Lackenwall came to the U.S. from Afghanistan 4 years ago after working with the U.S. war effort, including the CIA. In the wake of the shooting, President Trump took to Truth Social, saying he will permanently pause migration from all third world countries. And just this evening, we're learning that D.C. police will be working to support the National Guard's troops here in D.C. We're still working to clarify exactly what that means, but most likely we can expect to see MPD officers roving the streets alongside National Guard's members starting as early as this evening. Reporting in Northwest Washington, I'm Liana Golden. Back to you.
Now, because of this fatal shooting, federal officials say they are halting all asylum decisions, and the U.S. will stop issuing visas to travelers with passports issued by Afghanistan, which is where the suspected shooter is from. Authorities say Ramanola Lackenwall came to the U.S. in 2021 under Operation Allies Welcome, the Biden-era effort coordinated by the DHS to support vulnerable Afghans after the U.S. military pulled out of Afghanistan and the Taliban took control. He was granted asylum in April under the Trump administration. The DHS is also re-examining green cards issued to people from 19 countries deemed high risk. Our team coverage continues with Nick Manac, who has the latest on President Trump's immigration crackdown.
After an Afghan national allegedly shot 2 West Virginia National Guard members in Washington, D.C., the United States started halting the processing of all immigration requests relating to Afghan nationals, pending further review of security and vetting protocols. But that's not all. The USCIS director said at the direction of President Donald Trump, he has halted a full-scale, rigorous re-examination of every green card for, quote, every alien from every country of concern.
When it comes to asylum, when they're flown in, it's very hard to get them out. No matter how you want to do it, it's very hard to get them out. But we're going to be getting them all out now.
The president taking aim at how his predecessor handled the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan.
This is how they come in. This is how they're standing on top of each other. And that's an airplane. There was no vetting or anything. They came in unvetted. And we have a lot of others in this country. We're going to get them out.
When thousands of those Afghan nationals arrived in the U.S., 7 News showed how they stayed in hotel-style rooms at the National Conference Center in Loudoun County, where they ate Afghan-style meals. From there, the Afghan nationals did intake interviews. Their biometric data was documented, and they were offered counseling and legal services before being released into the U.S. With news of how the U.S. is now reviewing green cards, an immigration attorney told 7 News, now is a good time for people to gather their documents in case they're notified of an intent to revoke their green card.
It's not enough anymore to just have your green card. Get your records, get your applications, what documents were submitted for you to get a green card, all that stuff, because should you ever be notified that there's an intent to revoke or there's a request for further evidence, which can happen post-adjudication, we need to have that information to be able to properly respond.
The American Immigration Council says there are 1.5 million immigrants living in the Washington, D.C. metro area. Nick Minock, 7 News.